I joined the DTM series on iRacing for round 3 at Spa, and after some early trouble in the race, I was left at the back of the grid and I only had 55 minutes left to make up as many positions as possible. The race you're about to see is probably one of the best comeback races I ever did in my entire career. So lean back and enjoy. This is iRacing DTM, the comeback. We directly jump into qualifying, and as always you only have 2 laps, so it's super important to get those tires up to temperatures as fast as you can. The setup I drove for this race was really on the edge. In hindsight, I should have gone with more rear downforce, but while it was tricky to drive, it actually gave me an important advantage on the straights, which made my upcoming race much more enjoyable. I was pretty happy with my turn 1 here, which meant that I had good speed for the long upcoming straight. Unfortunately, I overdrove the car a bit too much at the entry of Les Combes, which resulted in a small snap that not only cost me some time, but actually also gave me a slowdown penalty, which meant that this lap will not count. So in my head, I'm preparing for the all or nothing second lap. After this mistake though, I lost a bit of confidence to fully push the car, so my only goal was to have a clean lap, so I still have the chance at starting somewhere at the front of the field. So while I was not really happy with the lap, I was pleased that it was at least enough for P4 in this 5.5k strength of field. Johan, who qualified on pole, had a game crash just before gridding, which meant that he was going to start from the pit lane. I will get back to this later because his comeback was even more insane. Due to the short pace lap, you want to heat up the tires as much as you can, and some take it a bit too far. At least there was no damage taken. With the pole sitter not being there, we had the whole right lane moving up 2 positions, and Victor, who qualified on P3, was the new leader. I wasn't really lucky with Cooper ahead because he kind of slept in at the start. And this is where my race changed. I get hit from behind and spin around into the gravel. Someone behind made it 3 wide, and there wasn't really much I could have done. If there's anything you learn from this, make sure to always get to the inside in turn 1. It will save you from these kind of crashes. I was pretty lucky to not have any damage, so I tried to stay calm and focus on the remainder of the race. At least everyone in front was basically in one big train of cars, so I was looking forward to yet another unexpected last to first challenge. With the tires still being far from optimal temperatures, we see some drivers spinning out into the gravel. These snaps are just so hard to predict. Just at the end of lap 1, it was time to make my first real overtake on the Aston here. And what is a better spot to overtake than around the outside of Blanchimont? With the 2 cars ahead going side by side into the chicane, I tried to set up a great exit so I have a chance at overtaking them into turn 1. The McLaren wasn't left with much of a chance, but to make the move on the Porsche, I had to lick the stamp and actually send it. And oh, it was pretty close with the Aston ahead, but we made it stick. I was now running in P23, still quite far from where I started, but that was just the first lap of the race. I was now behind Matteo and just wanted him to see me in his mirror, but that turned out to be a stupid idea as I almost drove into the back of him. Good thing is, he saw me and I let him go to try the overtake again after Pouhon. Position 22 now. At the start of the next lap, it was time for another overtake into turn 1. And what do we see here? A rare Corvette is appearing right in front of me. Let's try the same move as last lap. Just after that, the Ferrari and McLaren here get the classic touch in the chicane with some help of netcode and crash out of the race. The perfect opportunity for me to move up another 2 positions. It's only lap 4 of the race and we witness 2 more fatalities. A crash that would appear again at the end of the race. What did Alonso say? All the time you have to leave it a space. This was such a close call. A fraction of a second later and I would have been out of the race. Here's my live reaction to this during the stream.
Ferrari top speed. Please stay on the left. Please just stay on the left. Can you hold your brake? Why is he not holding his brakes? That was so lucky. Holy shit.
We survived. And we see ourselves at the back of this weird Aston livery. We were debating on stream whether he had front written on his bonnet. Turns out he didn't, but it did say top at the other side of the rear wing. Missed opportunity, if you ask me. With these crashes and overtakes, I was already up to P14. It was now time to get even more serious and pick up the pace. I don't think the Ferrari here had any interest in defending his position, so we basically got it gifted. Let's fast forward another lap. I was pretty close to the McLaren ahead and made sure he saw me in his mirror. He didn't flinch though and kept cool, so we continued until the end of the lap. With the insane slipstream and no contest, I moved up into position 12. But have a look at the blue Ford just behind me. That's Johan, who started from the pit lane. It was just a matter of time until he was close enough for me to actually let him go. There's no point in fighting and losing time to the front runners. I was hoping that I have the pace to stick to him and continue the hunt. Turns out, I didn't. But that didn't stop me from moving forward. Next up was the guy that I had contact with in lap 1. I should actually thank him because it made this race so much more exciting. If you're enjoying this video, I would really appreciate if you'd press the like button, subscribe, and maybe even follow on Twitch to actually see these races live. At the end of lap 12, I saw a chance at overtaking Hube, since he was struggling a lot to keep the Porsche on track. He was braking quite late into the chicane though, so I stayed patient and waited for the right opportunity on Kemmel Straight to take full advantage of the low wing that I was running. While already sitting in P9, we still had the pit stops waiting for us. So, with the fuel low alert popping up on the dash, it was time to think about the right amount of fuel to take. With the season update, iRacing included a different rule set for the DTM series. The tires are now being changed at the same time as refueling. And not only that, the tire change just takes around 6 seconds. So the right strategy call is to always take tires, because once they are up to optimal temperatures, after maybe 2 or 3 laps, you will lap much faster than anyone else who hasn't changed their tires. I just mentioned the cold tires. Well, Pablo ahead probably isn't a fan of them. He takes a bit too much entry speed into Lecombe and directly spins around. I lost some time, but also gained a position, so I'd say it's fair. During the next couple of laps, I tried to focus as much as possible so I could close the 3-second gap I had. Finally, at the end of lap 22, I was able to make a move on P7. Just one lap later, you can see the Ford in P5 saving fuel before braking for the chicane. Moritz in the McLaren ahead directly takes his chance to overtake. An overtake that not only brings me closer to them, but also changes the outcome of the next lap completely. I am right at their bumpers now, and you can see Andrea ahead even breaking the slipstream before Eau Rouge, so he gets a better run on Moritz on the straight. Unfortunately, this is where their race came to an early end. A small touch on the straight, and both went straight into the wall. The incident seems familiar, right? Here's my point of view. Pretty unspectacular. I was now sitting in P5, and with only 1.5 laps to go, this is the maximum I could get to. What a crazy race it has been. Please let me know how you would rate this race down in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.